Oh, you're gonna love this case. Let's check it out. So today we're going to check out Jonsplus i400, which is Jonsplus is a sub brand from Jonsbo, and this case is really something else. I mean, the chimney effect that it does, and how you could place your components. As you can see, you can place your GPU vertically and loads of other stuff. But let's start with some main specifications. So we have the maximum GPU support up to 340 millimeters. You have a possibility to place 6 3.5-inch hard drives with initial case that you buy, and you can additionally place one 2.5-inch SSD, or you could just go with 2 3.5-inch hard drives and 5 2.5-inch SSDs. It supports all motherboards, so ITX, Micro ATX, ATX and eATX, and it has 7 PCI slots. So when we're talking about PCI slots, you have a possibility to revert the slots and get a vertical bracket, so you can place the GPU as I placed it right here. Kind of makes more sense to place a GPU vertically because the bottom fans make more intake for the graphic card, and the air also continues up for the radiator, and that's basically it when it comes to this part. Of course, you do need to buy the riser separately, so this is it. But when we're talking about vertical placement for the GPU, you get this placement for the vertical position and to mount the PCI Express riser to that standoff, so kind of gets more stability to the GPU and it's not all wobbly. Let's check out the power supply is actually right here, and it's quite nicely hidden. And the cool thing, you can actually go with very long power supplies, and the whole bottom part right here is actually for cable management. You can place all the extra cables right here. It won't interfere with the bottom right fan, and it's really nice. And as you can see, it's pretty clean inside. Now at the back we have loads of space for cable management, and it's because of the hard drives, because you can place 4 hard drives right behind the motherboard, and all around you can reroute the cables, as you can see. Now there's also a special let's say compartment for cable management, so it hides the back side of the power supply, hides all the cables, and everything can be nicely rerouted. When we're talking about compatibility, you can't place, unfortunately, a 360 radiator on bottom because of this part here that covers basically last fan here at the bottom, but you can place 360 radiator on top without any issues, 280 or 240. So this is really cool. Loads of openings for the cable pass through, especially on this side. And this is finally the first time that I see that the rubber grommets in the opening for the 24 pin is actually where the 24 pin should be, so the cable goes straight into the 24 pin connection on the motherboard and at the back of the case. Also, they actually did a pretty good job with dust filtering and dust protection. So you have a top panel that you open like this, just pull the back side, and you have a filter right here going through the whole part of the top side. This way it protects the dust falling from the top, but also a cool panel because it's quite easy to remove and it's magnetically connected to the case, so you don't have any issues. At the bottom we have a dust filter as well, going through the whole front and to the back, basically covering the fans. But the thing is, you do need to flip the case to unscrew the first and only screw for the dust filter. Since this fan is acting as an intake, it's actually really cool to use it as an intake, because even if these fans don't create enough intake for the top radiator, this fan definitely does, and also gives a nice intake for the power supply so it doesn't heat up. So they also place dust filter here at the back. We have 3 dust filters nicely covering all the area for a possibility of dust entrance. Nice job. Now I'm really surprised to see this kind of case. I mean, it looks really beautiful. The legs are just perfect. The whole chassis looks quite solid. The final finish, design and everything is perfect. Now we need to continue on the specifications. The case stand height, so the bottom legs are 25 millimeters of height, so this is quite enough to take the air from the bottom and make a nice chimney effect airflow to the top. Foot pad is 2.5 millimeters aluminum alloy with sandblasted treatment. Chassis fan support, we have a possibility 3 120 millimeter at the top or 2 140 millimeter. At the rear we have one 120 millimeter possibility, and bottom 3 120 or 2 140. The air cooler support maximum height is 168 millimeters, so we can go actually here with a quite large CPU tower cooler. Talking about radiator support, top, as already stated, you can go with 360, 280, 240 or 120, and at the bottom we can place 240. This also means that unfortunately there's no space for custom liquid cooling, but I think with a couple of modifications and possibilities, definitely something could be arranged. With the vertical GPU placement, you can also place the GPU up to 340 millimeters of maximum support, and the length optional for the PCI riser is 145 millimeters. Internal structure is 0.8 to 1 millimeter fully blackened steel plate. Grill style top cover is ABS plastic plus PC enhanced hardness plastic. We have side panels which are 4 millimeters tempered glass. Now, building inside this case, I really enjoyed every single bit of it, because first of all, the backside and the cable management, just perfect. Loads of possibilities for organization and everything, and I wouldn't change a bit when it comes to that part, even though it is a bit wider, but you can still place normal GPU. You don't have any limitations when it comes to the height of the GPU. Usually some cases that are something like this, and they give more space for the cable management or hard drives. You usually sacrifice graphic card and you need to place it vertically. I encountered that in one situation, and okay, you have an opening here for the intake for the power supply, since I mentioned this fan right here at the back. Final finish is perfect. The design is immaculate. I really love the stylish silver black finish. The only thing that I would like to add to everything, except for the magnetic part, which is really straightforward, you do have loads of screws. So my advice, either put paper and write down which screw goes where, or each part that you remove, for instance this back part, you have 6 screws, place the screws near that panel so you don't mix it up. When we're talking about removing the tempered glass panels, you have to remove this part right here, and then for each tempered glass you have only 2 screws, but this panel has to go off so you can access them. Nothing in particularly hard. Placing a radiator inside is quite easy, and you might think, okay, how I'm gonna access the radiator with this? This panel here is just a cover that covers up everything. So if you don't like to check out the radiator or anything like that, this thing covers it. Top chassis here can be completely removed with 4 screws, and then you can access the radiator and basically mount the radiator and the fans here. And when you're placing the radiator inside the case, you just lower it down from the top and mount the CPU block. Now for the front I/O panel, we have a power on button, 2 USB 3.0, USB Type-C, and we have 2 3.5mm jacks. One is for your headset and one is for your microphone. When we're talking about temperatures, actually I'm quite fascinated how this combination cools nicely. So we have 3 fans at the bottom, 3 fans on top of the radiator, and 1 fan right here. I have to mention again, this is a chimney effect, so it takes the cold air from the front and blows it at the top. So 360 radiator. On the 5600G we had 61 Celsius degrees, which is just incredible, and the GPU on full load as well as the processor went maximum up to 65. So I think this combination with vertical GPU and chimney effect really does work outstanding. Let me just show you also this one. If you want a stylish case that looks just brilliant, especially with the, as I already said, silver and black combination used, maybe go with this one, white cables, white LEDs, and the case and everything looks just perfect. So with that said, I think this case, the Jonsplus i400 deserves a PC Crazy premium badge without a single doubt. The layout is just amazing. I really like how you place the components inside. It's really straightforward. There's not too much to think about. The power supply is nicely hidden, but still it doesn't heat up because it has an opening and direct intake from the fan. Chimney effect works perfectly here, and as you can see, the fans on the GPU didn't spin up until it reached 60 Celsius degrees. So the GPU is not dead, just so you know. The fans speed up after 60 Celsius degrees. So yeah guys, my warm recommendations if you're looking for something that looks so premium, definitely is an outstanding way to build inside. Loads of possibilities for your storage, and link is below. Check it out. Don't forget to subscribe. Also, don't forget to click the thumbs up if you like the Jonsplus i400 case, and also click the notification bell for future content. Hopefully, I will see you in another one. Bye bye.